we're going to go ahead and get started with our mini lesson here. So if you are talking or on your phone or hitting someone with your water bottle, please stop doing that now. Okay, so what we're going to be adding, table two. What we're going to be adding to our page today is a pull quote. Now, if you look at this example up here, this is what a pull quote looks like. It is information from the article that we're going to copy, not cut. We're going to copy it from the article, make it a bigger focus on the page, make it a cool font, the text bigger. You're going to be able to like add cool colors to it. But this is going to turn into like a point of entry for the reader. So they might read the pull quote before they read the article and be like, wow, I need to read the article, okay? This is going to involve text wraps. So see how this box, the text wraps around it. So in order for us to be able to do a pull quote correctly, we're going to have multiple boxes and learn how to use text wraps. So that's what we're going to do now. All right. Please join me on InDesign. So this is what my InDesign page looks like. This is my pull quote right here. I'm going to delete this, but this is the end goal right here. This is what your pull quote's going to look like. Now, just because mine looks this way doesn't mean yours is going to, but you're going to have a text box and then a box around the text box. That's what your pull quote is made up of. Okay, let me delete the one I have. All right, it is really important that step one of this process, you are in normal mode. Can everyone look up here really quick? Preview mode is not where you want to be. Normal mode is where you want to be. So normal mode is when you can see kind of all these ugly lines. This is good though, because we're going to be working on our pull quote kind of out in this gray space. And we can't do that if it's on preview mode. So go ahead and get yourself to normal mode. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find a quote in your article that you think is a really good quote. Now, you don't want it to be an entire like chunky paragraph of a quote. You're going to want to choose something that's maybe like 3 lines long, okay, at most. My text is gibberish, as you can see, because I didn't write a feature article. But I'm going to put my quote over here and do everything that you guys are doing. So using my T tool, I'm going to go over into this gray space and I'm going to create a text box that's like pretty much the width of one of my columns, okay? It's not going to be a super big box, but it's going to be the width of my column and I can always adjust it later if I need to. Okay, my next step is going to be to go into my article and copy and paste a quote that I want to use for my pull quote. Now, again, I do not have quotes in my article because mine's just filled with placeholder text. So I'm just going to type my quote in here. So I'm going to give you guys a moment or two to find your quote and copy it and paste it into this box. I'm just going to put, I love East High journalism. And I really like to put who the quote's from underneath it. I'm also going to make my font bigger. And I'm going to make it a cool font. So I want it to look different than the rest of my text. Yes. Yep, give me one. Let me finish this really quick and then I'll be right there. So you guys will see that as I make changes to this, you can see that my pull quote looks different than the rest of my text. So everyone is responsible for being on this step right now.
You're gonna really.
Okay.
Um.
Yeah, so really good question. Notice how I changed the font. I changed the size of the font. I am also going to make the font a different color because I want this pull quote to look really cool. The one I showed you guys at the start of class wasn't really that exciting. I want this one to look really good, like it's a part of my page. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight this. I'm going to go over to my swatches palette. I'm going to maybe make it like this purple color because I really like that. Go ahead and do that now. Here. Look at it. Okay. I agree. Great chair. Your party's good. Hi, talk to you later. Bye. Going like set up some that's what you have. You're gonna miss the whole quote. I just want you to okay. So hopefully, I mean we're working with you. It has your full quote on here. I'm sorry, I can't help you on your phone. So that's the red flag. All right, we're gonna move on here. So here's my quote. I don't love the way it looks right now. I would love to actually like maybe center this text. So see how I highlight my quote? I can go to the center tool and like center the text a little bit. This I think just makes it look a little bit cleaner. So that's an option as well. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do to our pull quote, you guys, we're going at a snail's pace right now. So if you are not with us, I need you to join us, okay? All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shorten this up so I don't have this extra space in here. I just want it to be nice and kind of clean, and I just don't want any like extra space at the top or the bottom. And then I'm going to put either a stroke around this quote or a background color behind it, or both. I'm gonna do something. So using my rectangle tool, so the box without the X, I'm just gonna take my cursor and I'm gonna draw a box around my quote. So I'm gonna click, hold, and drag, and when I let go, I have a box around my quote. It doesn't look cool yet, but this is exactly what you did when you were putting like a stroke around your sidebar. You just draw a box around it, and then you can decide how you want it to look. Like, do I want it to be dotted lines? Do I want it to be solid? Something that I really want to do is put a stroke around this, but make it like a cool color. So all that we have done at this point is we have a text box and then we have a box around it, and that's it. So I'll give everyone a moment to get their full quote looking the way they want it and then put a box around it. And then we just have 2 more steps and that's it. And they're super easy. The hardest part's over. So you're doing great. So you're adding a box around your pull quote and put a background color. if you say like, all right, I want you to be this color, or I want it to be this color. Yes, and then this box that you. There you go. Perfect. Hey, if you're struggling, let me know so we can get you caught up before the next step. Yeah, so it's Did you use the free? Just yeah, without the ends. I would just do it. And I would just grab it. And try it. Do it. Yes. Yeah. So a lot of you guys, you're having issue with swatches. Typical issue that swatches brings up. So we're gonna take this and go to. Now what you can do here is you can say like, all right, make the stroke bigger, you can better see. Nice. Love that font, looks really good. Okay, can you give me a thumbs up if you have a pull quote and a box around it? So I can see. Table 3, you guys have a pull quote and a box around it? Donovan, you good? Anthony, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. All right, here's the second to last step. We are going to go back to our best friend tool. So the arrow, the black arrow. And we need to group these two boxes. That means we have to select them both at once, which is kind of annoying sometimes when you try to do it. But the easiest way to select both of these boxes is if you click and hold near the box and drag your cursor over the boxes. When you let go, it selects them both. So I'm going to do that one more time. If you click near the boxes and hold and scroll down, when you let go, it selects both of the boxes. You can do that with like an entire sidebar if you want, if you need to move a sidebar or your entire page. All right, after you have selected both boxes, you're going to go up to Object and down to Group. Object, Group. How you know that your box is grouped is it puts a little dashed line around it. So you should be able to see, here's mine not grouped. And then here is mine grouped with the lines around it. So I've selected it, I went to Object and Group, and now it has those lines around it. Okay, here's the last step. Up here, somewhere in your upper toolbar, you have your text wrap options. If you hover over them, it'll say like no text wrap. That's what you have right now. If you click on the second one, it says wrap around the bounding box. That is the one that we are using today. Will you please click on the box that says wrap around the bounding box? All right. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your pull quote and you're going to drag it into your text. And now you can see that especially if you go to preview mode, that you have a pull quote that is utilizing text wrap. So wherever you move it, the text is going to wrap around itself. It's going to wrap around this text. Okay, who has a pull quote? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, what issue did we run into though by adding a pull quote, some of us? There's not enough room for all the text. Very good. So if you have a red plus sign down here, I already adjusted mine so I don't. You're going to want to highlight all your text and you're going to want to make it a little bit smaller so that you can accommodate all of the text. So you might try like a half point smaller. So if you were at 11 point font, you could try 10.5. It's design is all about adjustments. So can you make small adjustments to make everything fit? Remember that my newspaper students use like 8 to 10 point font and it is plenty big. You just have tiny computer screens. So that's something to think about. All right, so I'm going to save this and you should save yours too. I'm going to stop my recording here.